The story opens with a powerful character named Lufus. A group of heroes talks about her, calling her a villain and declaring that they will be the ones to defeat her. Moments later, those same heroes launch their attacks against her all at once. However, it quickly becomes obvious that none of them are strong enough to challenge her power. Just when Lufus believes she has already taken down one of the attackers, the man suddenly activates a special ability that begins to restrain her. Even though the heroes eventually manage to defeat her, Lufas simply responds with a dark laugh and mocks them without showing any fear. Everything that just happened was actually inside a video game. The real protagonist is a boy who had been playing a game called Xgade. It is also revealed that he creates content and even streams his gameplay online. Out of nowhere, the goddess responsible for the creation of the game suddenly appears on his screen. She leaves him a message explaining that there is another very important panel prepared for him. The system then asks whether he wants to accept it, and without fully understanding what it means, the boy decides to press accept anyway. However, this causes him to wake up as the girl's character, since there are several people around the place where he wakes up. He also realizes that he is inside Lufus's body, and wonders if he has been reincarnated into the world of the video game. However, because the girl was a villain on the level of a demon king, when she tries to ask them what just happened, her overwhelming power creates an aura that throws everyone to the ground. He begins to panic in his mind and remembers that the girl had a skill called intimidation. After clearly turning it off, everything around them returns to normal. At this moment, the people are extremely terrified because they were trying to summon a hero, but instead removed the seal of the villain. Even though the young man tries to ask them politely, they remain frightened. A little later, the people explain that 200 years have passed since Lufas was sealed away. They also explain that during the summoning, they were trying to bring a hero to defeat the Demon King. Because the people are very scared, Lufus tells them that she is not the real girl. She also tells them that they can relax and continue trying to summon a hero, since she only wants to explore the world inside the video game. Right after that, she spreads her wings, dismisses them, and flies away. Once outside, the boy feels very happy because he can now travel across the entire world of Xgade in the form of the girl. After, she notices a large tower and, after recognizing it, immediately heads there. Then it is explained that Xgade is a fantasy video game that is very popular because of the wars between humans and elves. It also explains that all the achievements of the players become part of the history of the game. Because the young man spent a lot of money and time training his character, it eventually became one of the most powerful in the entire game. We are also told that many lands of the kingdom had been unified, and to maintain stable rule they were divided between the group of Lufus and the heroes. However, since they declared war on each other, most of the battles in the history of the video game happened between them. That was when the girl was sealed away about 200 years ago. Returning to the boy, we see that she has arrived at the celestial base of Mapal, which is a tower that belongs to her. After that, the girl enters the tower, and once she sits on her throne, it brings back many memories. However, these are interrupted when a girl named Dena enters the place. She becomes very excited when she sees the main character, and when she notices that Lufas does not remember her, she explains that she used to be her advisor and servant. Lufas then remembers that when he played as the champion Lufas, he had placed a girl in the tower, so he quickly realizes that the NPCs may have gained awareness. Lufas also explains that he was summoned from a world outside the video game. He then asks the girl what happened after his disappearance 200 years ago. The girl mentions that the heroes who defeated her are now known as the 7 heroes. Each of them eventually founded their own country. However, she adds that 4 of them later died from natural causes. The young man wonders in his mind if the 3 remaining ones might be players like him. Dena then says that the 12 heavenly stars are still fine. It is explained that these heavenly stars were basically 12 NPC monsters who accompanied Lufas. Dena mentions that she knows the location of 6 of the 12, and that one of them joined the Demon King for revenge. Finally, Lufas says that she will investigate whether the 3 remaining heroes have reincarnated like in the video game, and she will also gather the 12 heavenly stars. Dena immediately begins to inform her of the location of one of the heavenly stars, and Lufas becomes very excited. However, Dena becomes worried because she knows that everyone will recognize her immediately. Because of the long lifespan of elves, they will likely remember her, not to mention her large and distinctive wings. Dena also adds that they need to prepare financially because neither of them has any money. In the end, the girl says that the only way to earn money without being judged for their past is to become adventurers. The next day, the two girls head to the commercial city of Hidalir. We notice that the girl keeps a sword hidden. Shortly after, they arrive at the Adventurers Guild, and after looking at several requests, they notice a mission to exterminate orcs, so both believe the reward is worth it. After a while, an old man explains that the orcs have kidnapped women and killed many young men, so the two of them accept the request from the old man. Soon after, they arrive at a cave where those orcs are located. She prepares to attack, but decides to check her stats before fighting. After confirming that all her stats are at the maximum, she summons a sword and eliminates the orcs at the entrance. Right after that, many more come out, and the girl becomes completely surrounded. However, because she possesses incredible power and speed, she can see their attacks as if they were moving in slow motion. She defeats all of them in seconds and immediately begins to face the Orc King. The monster starts attacking, but she defeats him with a single strike. After finishing them all, Dena uses teleportation magic to take away all the monster bodies, because if they obtain the full loins of the creatures, they can be used to literally restore health. Finally, Dena says that now that they have defeated the monsters, they will rescue the girls who were kidnapped. A little later, they manage to save many girls in the cave, and Lufas ends up destroying the place with one of her earth abilities. Afterward, Dena recommends that the main character erase the girls' memories because leaving them with those memories could be very traumatic for them. After a few hours, the girls head toward a kind of golem created by Lufas. Dena explains that no one had come to rescue the girls because there was no incentive to do so. She also mentions that the level of combat has decreased since 200 years ago. The girl is shocked when she hears that the strongest swordsman in the kingdom is only at level 120. Because Lufas remembers that in her time, the lowest level was around 1000. After a long conversation between the two, we see that the girl and Dena finally bring the rescued girls back to their families. They receive a reward for saving them. The girl feels very happy because people clearly treat her very differently when she hides her true appearance. On the other hand, we see that Lufas gives her golem to the villagers because it will help them defend the village from orcs. After saying a few final words, the two girls begin to leave. But just before that, someone asks their names, and Dena gives a completely made-up name because they know they could get into trouble if they reveal Lufas's real name. The next day, the two girls travel in a carriage while talking about how they ate the meat of the orcs. In addition, the boy thinks that he must find one of the 12 heavenly stars named Ares, who is known as the Ram. As Lufas had mentioned before, he needs to investigate whether there are other players like him. After a few hours, the two girls finally arrive at an aquatic city called Sel. Right at the entrance, they are stopped because special passes are required. The girl becomes very nervous because she did not know passes were needed. However, Dena, being a good assistant, had already anticipated this situation and created 2 passes that looked completely authentic, so the guards immediately allowed them to enter. As the two girls walk inside, Dena mentions that Esbel was founded by an elf hero named Megris. It is also known for being a country rich in magic, since mana flows everywhere. She also explains that this place attracts many people who want to learn how to use or study magic. After that, the girl tells Dena that they will go see the hero himself. Dena becomes very nervous because they cannot just enter the castle like that, but Lufas replies that they will approach peacefully since Ariel has already been causing him trouble and she does not want to become another problem for him. She also adds that she wants to visit the library because she does not know what has happened in the kingdom over the past 200 years. Shortly after, they ask about the library from a man named Gans. He is a mercenary who guards the border of the country. He kindly tells them that he will guide them to the library. While they walk there, Dena becomes completely fascinated by how beautiful the place is. Esbel is said to have lost many residents because of the constant attacks caused by the heavenly star Ares. It is also mentioned that the lake surrounding the city is actually a golem created by Megris. The girl immediately checks the golem's statistics and is amazed to see that they are quite impressive. Soon after, Gans brings the girls to a station so they can travel to the library. After doing that, he says goodbye and leaves. Sometime later, the two girls arrive at the library and realize that there are many books that talk about Lufas. However, she decides to pick up several books that criticize the heroes, because not everyone supported the idea that Lufas was a villain in the past. Dena starts teasing her because she thinks Lufas is not as terrible as she expected, and over the past 200 years people have gradually stopped fearing her. This makes the boy realize that this world is not exactly the same as the casual video game he used to play. While they read one of the books, the girl becomes completely shocked because it suggests that the world might be on the edge of collapse. This is because humans in this world are losing more and more land to live on, so humanity is gradually shrinking. A clear example of this is Espel itself, since it is located on the water and does not have as much land as other nations. Finally, the boy thinks that before he used to play only for fun, but now he is truly worried that the world might be in danger. A little later, the girl tells Dena that they should go to Ares' castle. However, at that exact moment, the ground throughout the entire area begins to shake violently, causing many buildings to crack apart. Dena says that earthquakes are not common in this country, so the girl explains that there is a skill capable of causing earthquakes, and that skill belongs to Ares. Dena becomes shocked when she hears that Ares might be nearby. Dena then says that she sensed a presence of mana in the distance, so the girl transforms a piece of rock into a kind of ship that will transport them. After getting on it, they head toward the location at high speed. While they travel there, Lufus explains that Ares is a kind of multicolored sheep that is very harmless and usually avoids conflict, so it seems very strange that it would attack Esbel. However, she concludes that this might be because the heroes defeated them 200 years ago. Suddenly, the girl experiences a memory that does not belong to him, which seems very strange. In a scene change, we are shown a memory of the first time Lufus met Ares. At that time, Ares appeared as a small and very sad sheep. From that very moment, Lufus taught the creature the importance of being strong enough to face difficult situations. Returning to the present, we see that Gans, together with other mercenaries and knights, prepares for battle because a horde of monsters is heading toward them. One of Gans's companions says that Ares has declared war with the earthquake, since in the past it was a strategy that Lufus used in battle. Right after that, the knights and mages begin attacking the monsters. The monsters respond by charging toward them at full speed, and a true massacre begins between both sides. Gans becomes very nervous because they are still waiting for reinforcements that have not arrived, and the monsters have completely surrounded them. Just when Gans and his companion are about to be attacked by all the monsters, a lightning strike suddenly hits and wipes them out. Right after that, we see that a dragon-like creature shaped like a serpent was responsible for the attack. At that moment, we are introduced to the hero named Maigres. He says that he has come to help them together with his creature, Levia. Maigres then orders Levia to attack all the monsters. On the other side, the two girls are watching the battle. The girl thinks that Maigres must be at a similar level to her. However, after checking his statistics, she realizes that he is only level 500. She also notices that he has a curse in his stats. Dena explains that when the 7 heroes were defeated by the Demon King, they were cursed, and that Mark reduced more than half of their power. Because of this, it becomes a problem since Levia is their only real defense. At that moment, Ares suddenly appears in front of them. Soon after, Levia attacks Ares, but Ares dodges the attack. Ares then throws a fireball toward Maigres, but it is clearly blocked by his golem. Ares begins moving closer to strike Maigres, but Maigres creates an ice shield. Just when Ares is about to break it, Levia manages to capture Ares. The girl says that Ares seems to be planning something, because even though he is trapped, he first intended to exhaust Levia's strength. That means the first wave of monsters was only a distraction. At that moment, Ares manages to break free from Levia, and Lufus realizes that if she does not intervene, they will be in trouble. She immediately jumps toward the monster and sends it flying with a single punch. After that, she approaches Maigres and tells him that she will handle it. However, Maigres senses the presence of the girl and realizes that she is Lufus. He tells her that they will talk soon and adds that it seems someone is controlling Ares. After saying that, the girl heads toward Ares. When she arrives, Ares cannot believe that the person in front of him is Lufus. Since he does not believe her, she uses her Dark Presence ability. The giant sheep appears shocked, but still cannot believe that she is the real Lufus because he thought she had died during those 200 years. She tells him that if he does not believe her, he can confirm it through a fight. Right after that, Ares surrounds himself with a fiery aura and prepares to fight. Lufus becomes excited because it will be her first battle since arriving in this world. The sheep immediately charges at her, but she stops it with just one hand. She then throws him into the sky and begins striking him from side to side. After taking a powerful hit that slams him into the ground, Ares becomes furious and begins releasing blue flames. Soon after, Ares prepares his final attack and launches it toward her, but she stops it again and sends him flying with another punch. Suddenly, the sheep rushes toward Lufas, but then transforms into a crying girl who hugs her tightly. At that moment, we learn that Ares can take a human form. Lufas comforts her with a few words and apologizes for worrying her during those 200 years. Dena soon arrives using teleportation, and the girl decides to check Ares' statistics. She notices that Ares now has a slightly higher level than she remembers. However, the boy explains that no companion like Ares should ever become stronger than her master. After that, Lufas tells Ares that she wants her to be the first of the heavenly stars to join her again, because she wants to gather all of them once more. This makes Ares extremely happy because 200 years ago, she had also been Lufas's first companion. Overjoyed, she thanks her and hugs her again, becoming part of her group from that moment on. Dena, who is standing nearby, also becomes very excited. However, when Ares greets Dena without knowing who she is, Dena starts acting a bit crazy. Lufas makes her calm down, but Ares simply says that Dena looked like a statue before, because when they were in the tower, she never said a single word. This embarrasses Dena so much that she begins to cry. The girl tells Dena that it does not bother her because she was the first person who helped her after her return. After a while, Lufas asks Ares why she has been invading Esbel. Ares becomes upset and says that she only wanted to take revenge on the people who betrayed her master, clearly referring to Lufas. She believed that her master wanted a world where humans would not hate demons, but the 7 heroes interfered. She adds that if Lufas had remained alive, the world might have been full of peace. The main reason she hates the heroes is that despite everything they did, humans still worship them, while she says that she owes everything to Lufas because if it had not been for her, she would have died long ago. At that moment, the boy realizes that Ares simply cared deeply about the former Lufas, so he gives her a few encouraging words and helps her feel better. However, he then remembers the words of Maegres, who said that someone might be behind her anger. Lufas speaks directly to Ares and says that she is not seeking revenge against the heroes. She also asks who the person was that manipulated her emotions, because she will not forgive that person. In a scene change, we see a man named Mars. He happily tells many demons that his plan worked exactly as he wanted, because he managed to make one of the 12 heavenly stars rebel against the hero. It becomes clear that he worships the demon king. Suddenly, Ares arrives at the place together with the girl. Mars approaches them and asks Ares if she still thirsts for blood, because for many years he filled her mind with hatred toward the heroes and humans. When Ares tells him that she will not help with his plans, he replies that she has already fulfilled her part of the plan, since she was mainly used to weaken Levia. The demon thinks that she is no longer useful and that they will kill her immediately, but the girl says that she will handle it. At that moment, Mars begins to release a powerful multicolored aura. He calls it the secret art of Mars, the demon of ice and fire of the 7 luminaries. Right after that, he draws 2 blades, one with ice magic and the other with fire magic. He begins attacking the girl from side to side while saying that she will experience her greatest suffering. Because he keeps talking non-stop, the girl becomes annoyed and sends him flying. With a single punch, she then asks what the demon meant by the 7 luminaries. At that moment, Dena arrives and explains that the 7 luminaries are 7 great demonic generals. In other words, they are the strongest and most dangerous demons in the entire demon kingdom. Lufas thinks that this sounds pathetic, because those demons are not even level 300. Dena explains that during the war with the Demon King, many of their members were lost, so their strength has greatly decreased since then. At that moment, Lufas realizes that if that is the case, only the 12 heavenly stars and the Demon King himself could give her a truly challenging fight. Meanwhile, the girls begin discussing the demons that were there, since when Mars fell, he practically knocked out all of them. They realize that if they leave them like that, the demons might continue attacking humans. So at that moment, the girl uses a skill called Capture, which allows all the demons within range to become her subordinates. She immediately orders them to return to where they came from and not attack anyone without a good reason. After she gives that command, all the demons leave immediately. The next day, the girls go to speak with Gans, and he is amazed by everything that happened. He also confirms his suspicion that the girls were actually Lufas. He asks them to come inside to talk because he no longer wants anyone spying on them. As they enter, the boy explains that Maegres used to be one of the best players who fought alongside him, so he wonders whether Maegres is truly another player or simply someone from this new world. Soon after, the girls arrive at his office, and he asks the girl to remove her hood. When she does, he is shocked because it is truly Lufus. He also feels very miserable because over the past 200 years, he has gradually grown weaker. At that moment, Lufas realizes that Maegris is not a player like she once thought. This confirms her suspicion that she is now in a world that continues beyond the video game she once loved. Maegris tells her that she seems to have returned at the worst time, since he is currently at the lowest point of his life. This makes the boy feel a bit sorry for him, and he asks if Maegris feels guilty about the demon invasion that happened after Lufus fell. After hearing this, Maegris's expression changes. The girl comforts him by saying that he should celebrate any victory he achieves. Maegris then asks if she holds any resentment toward him and the other heroes for betraying her. However, he does not expect her answer. Lufas says that she holds no resentment toward them, because an important fact is that she herself was the leader of the group of the 7 heroes. Seeing that Maegris still feels guilty about the betrayal, she tells him that if she was betrayed by them, then it simply means she was not a very good leader. She then gives him encouraging words, telling him that he is a hero to the people of Esbel. Finally, she tells him that instead of feeling guilty, he should be proud of himself. At that moment, we are shown a memory of the group from 200 years ago. Maegris dreamed of founding a country, while the boy clearly wanted to conquer the entire world because he wanted to create an ideal world, where people would not fear demons. Another companion present, known as Aliot, joked about it and mocked her, since he did not think she could actually achieve it. Returning to the present, we see that Maegris's attitude has completely changed. He now shows a smile on his face and thanks her for the advice. Soon after, we see the girl restoring Livia's vitality, since the creature had become somewhat weak after Ares' attack. Later, Maegris asks what she plans to do now. She answers that she will search for the rest of the heavenly stars. Dena interrupts them and says that the next one is located at the tomb of the black-winged monarch. Lufas does not believe it is a real tomb, but Dena explains that it is a pyramid-shaped tomb that was created 200 years ago. She also explains that many treasures once used by Lufas are located at the top of that pyramid, and that one of the heavenly stars is also being kept there. Lufas thinks that this might simply be a theory invented by treasure hunters who want to steal her treasures, especially since they know that one of the stars is said to be there. However, Maegris mentions that because people have become weaker, weapons have also become weaker. Because of that, the only legendary weapons left are the ones belonging to Lufas inside that tomb. Finally, Maegris tells her that when she recovers her stars from the tomb, she should give him the treasures she does not need. Lufas agrees without any problem, and says that he can have the leftover treasures. Just before they leave, Maegris gives the girl an item. This object allows her to hide her wings, since many people would recognize her because of them. Now the girl feels very happy because she knows she will be able to move around freely. After saying goodbye to Maegris, she goes outside, and together with Dena, they also say goodbye to Gans, since they will now head toward the tomb. After several hours, Dena tells the boy that the tomb is about 500 kilometers away. While they talk about how they will travel there, Lufas suddenly creates a moving house using her magic. This amazes the girls because it even has beds so they can be very comfortable. They finally name the vehicle Tanaka, and it is revealed that it is actually a golem. This means it can help them travel anywhere. The vehicle can also speak, so the girl orders it to head toward the tomb. The girls are very fascinated because with that comfort it feels very easy to travel from place to place. After several hours of traveling, night falls and they decide to stop for a short rest. Later, Dena notices a strange smell, and when she goes to check where it comes from, she discovers some hot springs. Dena becomes very excited because she can now enjoy a relaxing bath. However, we see that the girl says she will bathe later, and at that moment it is revealed that she is actually a boy. Even though the appearance is completely feminine, he is still a boy. Dena removes her clothes and enters the water. Meanwhile, the boy hesitates because having the body of a girl now feels very strange to him. Soon after, he finally enters the bath as well. Dena explains that beings like Lufus cannot bathe too often because of the feathers on their wings. We also see that the boy keeps looking at the girl's large chests and remembers that he used to do the same thing in his previous life. However, since he now has a girl's body, he realizes that he does not feel anything. Suddenly, Dena shows him several frogs that were there and explains that 3 of them are males. They begin fighting, and when 2 of the males lose, they use an ability to change their sex. resulting in 2 pairs of frogs. Hearing this makes the boy very nervous, and one of his perverted thoughts slips out. Soon after, they return to the moving house, and Ares comes out because it is now her turn to bathe. After several days, the group finally arrives at the tomb. Lufas is very surprised to see that there is now a village built around it. Dena explains that hunters and adventurers who want to explore the tomb have gathered there, and over time they created a settlement around the place. Ares becomes very angry and says that if that is the case, she will drive all those people away immediately, because she still hates humans for betraying her master in the past. However, Lufas quickly calms her down and tells her that they should not cause trouble. She also tells Ares that she is still alive, so in the end it is not really a tomb. Ares finally calms down, and Lufas thinks to herself that Ares almost lost control, because whenever something threatens her, Ares immediately becomes defensive. She then wonders if the other heavenly stars are the same way. Soon after, the group arrives at the entrance, where they see a group of adventurers gathered. They tell the girl that a group entered the tomb 2 months ago and never returned. After hearing this, the group begins to enter the tomb, saying that they must stop the heavenly star before it causes even more deaths. After entering the place and moving a little deeper inside, a golem suddenly appears in front of them. The girl explains that it was created so that it could attack heroes. However, she wonders if it will recognize her after 200 years. Suddenly, the golem begins chasing and attacking Dena, because in the past the girl had such a weak presence that everyone easily forgot about her. Just when the golem is about to reach her, its attack is blocked by an adventurer who is near the entrance. Soon the rest of the man's group appears and begins fighting the golem. The girl thinks that if the golem manages to hit them even once, it would defeat them immediately. So she tells Ares to help them, and with a single strike Ares destroys the golem. One of the men, named Jin, is very impressed by her strength. We are also introduced to Nick, another older knight named Richard, and finally an archer named Chu. The girl becomes a bit confused because their group is made up only of attackers. After introducing themselves, she is surprised when they admit that their group is unbalanced. Jin then offers for his team to accompany them as guards. The girl tries to refuse, but Dena, very excited, ends up accepting their help. As they continue their journey, Dena takes advantage of the situation and says they should make use of them so they can rest until they reach the heavenly star. In another scene, we see a different group that has been inside the pyramid for several months. They say that they are about to reach the top because they are determined to take all the ancient legendary weapons that once belonged to Lufas. When they finally reach the top, they find a girl there holding a very frightening mirror. She threatens them, saying that if they do not leave within 10 seconds or attack her, she will eliminate them. The men nervously explain that they did not come to fight her and only want the weapons to defend themselves from demons. However, no matter how much they try to explain, she identifies them as enemies who want to steal from her master's tomb. She declares that she will destroy them and traps them inside a magical barrier. At the same time, a powerful flash of light begins moving toward them, and we finally learn the name of the heavenly star girl, Libra. Returning to the girls' group, they continue fighting more golems, and Lufas has no choice but to deactivate them. As their creator, she can make them stop attacking. When one of the golems falls to the ground, the talkative group begins boasting about how strong they are. As they continue moving forward, Lufas has to pretend and play along with them. After several hours, the group reaches floor 106 and says they are very close to the top. The girl immediately warns them to be careful, and suddenly a large creature awakens. It is a golem that is twice as powerful as the others. The girl realizes that even though she created it, its level is higher now and it may not recognize her. When she approaches and asks if it recognizes her, it refuses and identifies her as an intruder. It immediately attacks, leaving Lufas no choice but to rush forward and split the golem in half with a single strike. However, as it lies on the ground, the golem suddenly welcomes Lufas, because deep down it was still able to recognize its creator. Feeling a bit emotional, the girl thanks it for serving her for so many years, and says goodbye. After that, she tells the group to stay on that level because she plans to go alone to speak with Libra. The others try to tell her that she will not be able to defeat Libra. They also ask who she really is, since throughout the previous floors she kept saving them without showing any effort. However, Lufas replies that she does not need to tell them anything. Right after that, she begins climbing the stairs to the final floor. While going up the stairs, the girl becomes very emotional about the golem and mentions that the real Lufas probably would not have felt sad about something like that. Finally, she arrives at Libra's floor and is immediately detected as an intruder. At that moment, Lufus spreads her wings, and the girl, who seems to be some kind of robot, begins analyzing her. Her system shows a 99% probability that the person in front of her is the real Lufus. Because of the large number of calculations she performs, her system begins to overload. Lufus tells her that she came to repair her, but Libra warns her not to come any closer. Ignoring the warning, the girl keeps approaching, and Libra suddenly transports both of them to a strange dimension. There, Libra pulls out 2 pistols and activates a propulsion device, attacking Lufus continuously. However, since the girl manages to dodge every attack, both of them return to reality. Right after that, Libra creates a massive barrier that traps them both inside. The girl says that the attack Libra is preparing is powerful enough to finish anyone. Libra then activates her ability, and a huge explosion begins forming throughout the entire area. Despite this, Lufus calmly walks toward her until she reaches her side. Libra tries to attack again, but the girl immediately uses a skill that repairs her and apologizes for abandoning her. Libra performs a final analysis, and once she confirms with 100% certainty that it is truly her master, she finally calms down and shuts down her system. Afterward, the boy wonders how he will explain everything to the group of adventurers, since he obviously cannot simply tell them that she is actually Lufus. When she returns to the others, the men seem confused, because Dena explains that the girl manipulated their minds. This shows that Dena had planned everything from the beginning. After that, Lufus takes Dena and Ares with her to the treasure storage. The girl begins trembling with excitement when she sees the enormous wealth inside. Dena explains that Lufus used to love collecting valuable artifacts. After some time, they manage to gather the most important artifacts and weapons from the place. Dena then says that she will send the rest of the items back to the tower using her teleportation ability, along with all the golems in the area, so that no more adventurers will die there. Dena activates her skill, and the golems disappear immediately. Meanwhile, the adventurers wake up from the hypnosis and behave as if nothing had happened. A few hours later, the girls are seen outside the tomb, and they have properly dressed Libra. The girl orders her to wake up, and Libra greets everyone there. However, Libra also fails to recognize Dena, which makes Dena start acting a little crazy. When she explains that she was with them in the tower more than 200 years ago, Libra becomes completely shocked, because Dena had such a small presence that she was never even recorded in her memory. This makes Dena very sad. After that, Lufus tells Libra that she is gathering all the heavenly stars again and invites her to join the group so they can search for the others together. Libra accepts immediately and says that she offers her complete loyalty. Hearing this makes Lufus very happy. Afterward, the girl asks Libra if she knows the location of another heavenly star, but Libra says she does not, since she never left the pyramid all this time. However, Dena interrupts and says that about 2,000 kilometers to the west, there is a village where Parthenos the maiden lives. She explains that Parthenos created that village and lives there in secret. She also explains that the heavenly star created a barrier to protect the helpless monsters and plants in that place. Because of this, all the people who used to live on the mountain were forced to leave, meaning she basically created a sanctuary where she protects everything in that area. After a few hours, the group begins traveling to search for Parthenos. Ares asks what happened to the people who used to live there, and Dena answers that they moved to a place called Jejeyaron. It is also mentioned that Merak is currently the king of the sky and one of the 7 heroes. Soon after, they begin to see that place in the distance, and the girl thinks they should investigate it since one of the 7 heroes is there. She wonders if he might actually be another player like her, unlike Megrez, who turned out to be someone separate from the reality of the game. Finally, the boy says that recovering Parthenos is very important, but first, he will go to Jejeyaron to investigate the hero. Shortly after, the group arrives in front of the country and notices that it stands beside a cliff. They can also see that the city is divided because of conflicts. There are 2 factions, one with white wings and another with mixed wings. After Lufus fell 200 years ago, the white-winged people declared themselves superior, and from that moment the conflict began. The girl is completely shocked because she belongs to the mixed-winged race, which later became widely hated. Because of this, they say that something must be done about the situation. Soon after, they need to climb many stairs because the people there normally do not need them. Libra then uses her jet propulsion ability and carries everyone up instantly. This causes the people in the area to become alert, since it is unusual for so much noise to happen at night. Ares quickly apologizes for waking everyone up so late and says that they are merchants. One of the men tells them that it is not a problem because that is a common way to enter the city. After that, the man notices that they look tired and offers them an inn. While the girl is sleeping, she has a dream that feels like a memory. In it, we see Lufus as a small child being beaten by her father because he says that she always fights with other girls. Lufus tries to explain that the other girls bullied her first, but because her father belongs to the white-winged race, he shows disdain toward his own daughter. A few hours later, the child becomes very hungry, and her mother arrives with some bread. The woman begins to cry because her husband does not want her to get involved with their daughter. Lufus hugs her, and the two of them begin walking back toward their house. However, they run into her father again, and he hits Lufus and treats her badly. At that moment, the girl wonders if everyone treats her badly because of her differently colored wings. Then she gathers her strength and runs away. She says that even though she is weak now, she will become stronger so she can end the inequality in the world, because injustice continues to follow her, just as it does millions of others. Soon after, the girl wakes up, and Libra, who is nearby, begins talking with her. Lufus says that she only had a dream about something that happened long ago. At that moment, she begins to doubt whether she is truly in the same world as the video game, because he does not remember ever giving Lufus that kind of past. Because of this, he concludes that he might be in a parallel version of the video game world where he has reincarnated. In other words, he is now in a real world while his soul is inside Lufus's body. This leads him to wonder where the soul of the real Lufus is. In another scene, we are taken to the Demon Kingdom. There, the 7 luminaries are holding a meeting. They talk about how Mars was defeated and begin mocking him for being weak. At the same time, a girl whose face is revealed says that she has been investigating the people responsible for that incident and mentions that the one behind it seems to have black wings. The luminaries begin wondering if Lufas might be responsible. However, they remember that she was defeated by the heroes 200 years ago, and they even mention that the Demon King himself avoided fighting her. Finally, one of the demons says that if the girl is actually alive, it could become a serious problem. He calls a mysterious girl named Venus, and her face is finally revealed. He asks her and another demon to keep an eye on the girl. The next day, Lufus's group talks about investigating how the mixed-winged people and the white-winged people live in that place. They decide to split up, and Dena and Libra leave. Suddenly, Ares mentions another one of the 12 heavenly stars, named Igokeros. He explains that a long time ago Igokeros invited him to join the Demon Kingdom, giving them a clue about where to find him in the future. After that, the girl heads to the part of the city where the mixed-winged people live. When she arrives, everyone in the area stares at her. She soon finds a dark temple, and when she enters, she is surprised to see a statue of herself. A man then appears and explains that in the past, the mixed-winged people were called the Cursed, a term used to describe those with black wings who were discriminated against. However, unlike the others, Lufas became a symbol for all mixed-winged people. In other words, they worship Lufus because she gave them hope and strength against discrimination. The girl asks if they do not think it was wrong that Partinos exiled them from their lands. The man replies that they deserved it because they ended up betraying Lufus. At that moment, Lufus also takes the opportunity to ask what he thinks about King Mureg. However, the man replies that all the mixed-winged people think he is a joke. In another scene, we see Dena waiting for someone. At the same time, Libra is flying through the sky analyzing every person in the area. Soon she identifies someone and states that he is a demon in disguise. She immediately descends to the ground and threatens him because she knows he is a demon. The man tries to pretend that he is just a traveler, but since Libra is a highly advanced robot, she tells him that she knows he is a demon in disguise. In the end, he admits that she guessed correctly and, without hesitation, launches an attack against her. Libra easily dodges his strikes and responds by firing her pistols. In another scene, Ares is feeling very bored. He arrives at a certain place where he is suddenly trapped inside a barrier of darkness. He then says that Igokeros must be there. At that moment, Igokeros appears, one of the 12 heavenly stars. He says that he is still working with the demons and that he has come to defeat the 7 heroes. Igokeros then asks Ares once again if he wants to join the demons to destroy the heroes who betrayed Lufas. In another scene, we meet Merog, who is holding a meeting with the white-winged people. They ask him to expel the mixed-winged people because they believe themselves to be superior. However, Merrig thinks about how he originally founded this country to give shelter to the mixed-winged people who had been exiled. Later, the white-winged people were also expelled from their lands and were welcomed by him as well. However, from the beginning they wanted to have privileges over the mixed-winged people. We also learn that Merrig himself belongs to the white-winged race, yet he has remained neutral. Because of this, he knows that he cannot make a decision that would harm the mixed-winged people. At that moment, we see a memory from when he was a child. He explains that he was destined to become the king of the winged people. However, when he first saw Lufus, he believed that she hated the mixed-winged people, but later he found strength after seeing what Lufus eventually became. Returning to the present, while the girl observes Merrig's castle, she thinks that only the king has the power to make a decision about this situation. She also wants to speak with him, but she has no way of contacting him. Returning to Libra, we see that she continues fighting the demon and discovers that he controls the power of wind. The demon then reveals his true form and introduces himself as Jupiter, one of the 7 luminaries. After introducing themselves, Libra immediately attacks him again. Meanwhile, Igoqueros continues asking Ares if he wants to join them. Ares responds that his master is still alive. Igoqueros is shocked for a moment, then begins laughing. He says that even if he wanted to return to her, he cannot, because if he does return to Lufas, history might repeat itself unless he eliminates their enemies, clearly referring to the heroes. Soon after, the demon becomes highly motivated and releases a powerful aura. He declares that he will return to Lufus after defeating Merrig. Before leaving, he says goodbye to Ares and tells him to enjoy the bloodshed that will soon occur. Ares begins wondering whether he should tell the girl about this or not. In another scene, Dena notices a suspicious man. The man goes to a hidden location and meets with several others. Dena carefully approaches to listen, and she realizes that one of them was present during the heroes' meeting. The man tells the others that since the king refused to listen to them, they will personally eliminate the mixed-winged people. At that moment, Dena realizes that the nation is on the verge of civil war. She also hears them say that Jupiter was supposed to meet them at a specific location, and wonders why he has not arrived yet, not knowing that he is currently fighting Libra. Returning to Jupiter, we see that he begins to grow nervous because none of his attacks are working against the girl. However, the demon had no choice but to flee. This makes Libra say that the next time they meet, she will not let him live, since she has already studied each of his movements. After a couple of hours, the girl gives a report about all the information both sides gathered. Ares does not mention to the girl that he met Igoqueros. Lufus says that it seems the war is about to begin, so they must think about what to do. Libra explains that if a war breaks out between the two factions, it could weaken the heroes and the winged people, allowing the demons to take advantage of the situation and conquer them. Because of this, she suggests helping fight the demons and supporting the mixed-winged faction. However, the boy tells them that they will not join any side because their only goal is to capture Jupiter. At that moment, they also realize that the demon is heading toward the meeting with the white-winged people. Finally, the girl encourages them and tells them to show what they are capable of and bring Jupiter back alive, so he can confess his entire plan. Later that night, Lufus prepares many rounds of ammunition for Libra while thinking that they urgently need a plan to capture Jupiter. In another scene, Jupiter is seen after barely escaping, and suddenly Venus appears in front of him in the middle of the forest. She complains that he did not meet her at the place they had planned. At that moment, Jupiter explains that the main plan was to start a war immediately so they could eliminate Merrig, but because Libra interfered, he was unable to complete it. Venus then tells him that she has come to help him and that she will distract the girl for at least 20 minutes. Returning to the boy, he is seen handing all the ammunition to Libra. Libra mentions that she cannot detect Dena within a radius of 100 kilometers. Lufus replies that she might be outside the country, since she can leave and return using teleportation. At that moment, the boy begins to feel something very strange. He remembers that when he used to play the game Gate, such a teleportation ability did not exist. X-Gate was not only the name of the video game, but also the teleportation ability itself, and no player was able to learn it, not even the girl. Because of this, he begins wondering whether X-Gate is somehow connected to Dena, or if that ability was developed during the past 200 years. Lufus becomes serious and tells Libra that they will need to have a serious talk with Dena. After a few hours, Dena returns to the house, but the girl immediately captures her and begins interrogating her. First, she asks how she learned the spells for mind manipulation and teleportation, because for a simple NPC this is extremely suspicious. The girl admits that X-Gate, or teleportation, cannot simply be learned like that. After hearing this, the boy continues questioning her because he knows that she is not an elf and he cannot detect the traits of a vampire elf either. Dena simply replies that she is just an ordinary half-elf. However, the girl still does not trust her explanation. Dena becomes angry because she has worked very hard for 200 years, all so that she would not be ignored or forgotten like before. After checking her statistics, they finally decide to believe her. Dena then remembers that she can use X-Gate together with Libra, since Libra is a golem. She explains that they talked about it and decided to return to the tower to organize several things. After saying goodbye, they mention that they will return in a few minutes. The girl lies down on her bed, but at that exact moment the city begins to be attacked. Soon after, Jupiter manipulates the white-winged people by telling them that the mixed-winged faction is attacking them. At the same time, a sinister fog begins to spread across the entire area. As everyone becomes surrounded by the fog, their spirits begin to crave the blood of their enemies. All of this happens while the boy watches everything from a distance. After that, Lufas returns to the city and explains that the fog is lunar magic, which creates a state of madness. However, she knows that Jupiter is not responsible, since he is associated with the wood element. Because of this, she realizes that someone else must be behind the problem. She soon arrives beside Ares, and he asks her what she would do if one of the heavenly stars were responsible for making people kill each other. The girl replies that she would stop them immediately if necessary, although she would still praise them for remaining loyal and trying to avenge her. However, she clearly does not want the nation to be completely destroyed. Suddenly, Ares thanks her because her words make him happy, and he says that he now knows what he must do. Right after that, he leaves the place. At that moment, the boy realizes that all of this could only have been caused by Igokeros, also known as the goat. Since he knows that Ares cannot stop him alone, he immediately heads after him. In another scene, Igokeros is shown feeling very excited because his revenge is succeeding. At the same time, Jupiter is also pleased that the people are destroying themselves. However, Libra suddenly appears behind him. Jupiter becomes very nervous and tries to escape using his ability. But since the girl had already analyzed his combat style earlier, she stops him with a single shot. Libra then launches several missiles that graze him. Terrified, Jupiter realizes that she has predicted every one of his movements. He quickly creates a barrier to hide his presence from her, but Libra immediately grabs him by the neck from behind. Just as she is about to strangle him, he manages to break free and escape once again. Meanwhile, Ares arrives where Igokeros is and tells him to stop immediately. Igokeros simply responds that he wants to avenge his master, and a battle begins between the two heavenly stars. Just when Ares manages to land an attack on Igokeros, he realizes that it was only a clone. The real one appears and launches an attack meant to finish him. However, just before the attack hits Ares, the girl arrives and blocks it. She tells Igokeros to stop attacking his own allies. Suddenly, Igokeros begins crying uncontrollably because during all this time he had missed Lufas and believed that she died 200 years ago. The girl then explains that she does not want to harm Merrick or the winged people. She kindly asks him to join her and remove the madness effect from everyone in the nation. Igokeros accepts and takes on a human form. We then see the demon enter the girl's shadow, and he explains that because he is a demon, he must hide there. After that, he comes out again and explains that the madness spell only amplifies what people already feel. In other words, the people of that nation already wanted a war. Soon after, Dena appears and tells them to leave the task of speaking with the people to her so she can stop the war. At that moment, Igokeros finally recognizes Ares, which makes Ares very happy. In another scene, Jupiter tries to hide in many places, but Libra finds him every time. Just when the demon is about to be defeated by one of her abilities, he finally surrenders and even wets himself out of fear. Libra then announces that her mission to capture Jupiter has been a complete success. Returning to the girl, we see her observing together with Dena, while Merak and the boy try to calm both factions. We also notice that Merak is missing one wing, which was part of the curse placed on him by the Demon King. At that moment, Libra arrives carrying Jupiter on her shoulders and tries to explain that he is one of the 7 luminaries. Since she struggles to explain properly, Dena steps in and clarifies that Jupiter had been manipulating the white-winged people. Everyone there becomes shocked after learning that he is truly a demon. The two sides finally calm down, and although they still hate each other, the war stops. Meanwhile, Dena watches the demon with a very malicious expression as she ignites hatred against him in the hearts of the people. Jupiter tries to explain something about who Dena really is, but at that moment she attempts to attack him. Libra immediately pierces him through the back with her hand and finishes him off. The girl becomes very thoughtful and wonders what the demon was trying to say about Dena. A little later, the girl's group is seen talking with Monarch in his office. She removes her hood, and the man is shocked to see that it is Lufus. The boy also realizes that, just like Magra's, Monarch seems to be a real person from this world and not a player like him. Monarch shows deep regret and says that he is a weak person who should never have become a king. He adds that the girl should have been the one to continue ruling and that the heroes should never have defeated her. Hearing this, the girl grabs his shirt and thinks that the real Lufus would never want to hear such pathetic words. She tells him to have more pride and to be proud that they managed to defeat her, because not just anyone could accomplish such a feat. The man begins to cry and says that he could never truly defeat her. He also says that she is still the same proud and imposing woman as before. The boy replies that from now on, Monarch must think about how to resolve the problems of his nation, because she has already helped him enough to give him the courage and strength to lead. After saying this, the group leaves the place. While walking through the forest, the boy suddenly brings up the topic of photographs from his world. Ares says he has no idea what he means, since photographs do not exist in this world. However, the boy remembers that when he spoke with Dena before, she knew what photographs were, even though they do not exist there. Because of this, he tells Dena that they need to talk privately. Back in Monarch's castle, we see that he now carries himself with more authority, just as the girl advised him. In another scene, a man informs a woman about what happened with the heavenly stars. The woman says that she will destroy Lufus and introduces herself as Benetnag, who is a vampire. Meanwhile, the boy speaks privately with Dena and asks who she really is, because he knows she was not actually his advisor 200 years ago as she claimed. He explains that if she had really been waiting in his tower all that time, the place would not have been so dirty when he arrived. Dena suddenly admits that he is right and that she was never his advisor. She simply discovered that the girl had an NPC in that position and decided to take the role herself. Lufus wonders how she knows the term NPC. He thinks about how the heavenly stars managed to remember him, but then he recalls that Dena has the ability to modify memories. Without any hesitation, she admits that she indeed altered the memories of the heavenly stars. However, she says that this ability does not work on Libra, because Libra is a kind of robot and does not store memories in the same way. The girl then asks if Dena also altered her memory. Dena replies that she could not, because the girl's willpower was too strong. Finally, Dena reveals that she is not truly a player. She says that she was hired by a beta tester to observe the behavior of the half-elves. She also admits that she used the game's database to modify many things within the world. This makes the boy think that beta testers should not normally have access to such data. The girl then asks how she was able to manipulate the memories of Igokeros if he was inside the Demon King's castle. Dena answers that she can enter and leave wherever she wants. At that moment, the girl suddenly transforms, revealing that she is actually Venus. She says that she no longer needs to hide her appearance and defeats the girl so she can turn her into her pawn. Soon after, Venus begins releasing a powerful aura, and the boy is shocked to see that her true level is over 1000. After formally introducing herself, she declares that she is one of the 7 luminaries. She then summons a barrier so the two of them can fight without interruption. Venus immediately attacks the girl, but the attack clearly causes no damage. She then summons several metallic crystals and launches them toward her. However, they have no effect, so the girl counterattacks by creating many spear-like swords aimed at Venus. Venus then uses several X-gates to redirect the attack. Soon after, Venus summons a heavy rain, and the girl is surprised to see that she has an affinity with both water and metal magic. Venus also summons roots that begin attacking Lufus, but she manages to dodge them and destroys them with a single strike. After that, she moves toward Venus, but Venus uses X-Gate to teleport to another location. However, she is shocked to see that the girl is incredibly fast and has already appeared behind her. Venus barely manages to dodge the attack and tries to strike back. But Lufas is much stronger. She stops the attack and punches Venus, sending her flying. Afterward, the girl tells her that she knows she was actually a former beta tester because no ordinary tester would have stayed in the game for so long. She also points out that Venus simply increased her abilities. The girl explains that even though both of them have levels above 1000, Venus relied more on pay-to-win methods rather than real training like Lufus did. As the girl approaches her, she says that despite everything Venus has done, she still helped her in some ways. Suddenly, Venus jumps back and summons a gigantic portal in the sky. From the portal, a massive meteor begins falling toward the city. Venus then moves away and watches to see what the girl will do. Without hesitation, Lufus flies straight toward the meteor and delivers an extremely powerful kick that completely destroys it. This leaves Venus completely shocked. Soon after, the girl returns to face Venus, who accepts her defeat. She admits that if such a powerful ability could not defeat Lufus, nothing else would be able to. The girl then asks why she did all of this. Venus explains that she arrived as a beta tester just after Lufus was sealed 200 years ago. From the very beginning, she realized that they were not inside the world of the video game. After giving a long explanation, Venus says that they might actually be in the world of the game's novels. This is because many official players of Xgate do not exist in this world, since in the novel version, they chose not to be part of the story. Venus also explains that a long time ago, she met other people who came from the real world just like them, but all of them were eventually killed by the Demon King's army. At that moment, the boy begins to understand many things about the world he is now in. If this had truly been the world of the video game, the Demon King would have already been defeated long ago, because there were many extremely powerful players. Finally, Venus explains that she infiltrated the demon faction so she could delay their attacks, because the thought of the demons destroying this world makes her sad. Suddenly, the girl begins to feel a strange sensation in her head. She then asks Venus directly if she truly considers her an enemy. Venus replies that she does not, and she is happy to hear that the girl would still care about her just as she did with Dena. These words make Venus very happy. The girl then says that she will ignore everything that just happened. She also confesses that she is not the real Lufus, and that she sees Venus as a loyal ally. Lufus begins to think that if things continue this way, the remaining heroes like Bennett Nash might end up the same as Maigres and Merag, meaning that only she and Venus would truly be outsiders in this world. Finally, the girl extends her hand and says that together they will defeat the Demon King and his followers. Venus accepts and transforms back into Dena, saying that she will continue acting as her advisor until the Demon King is defeated. Soon after, the rest of the group arrives, and the girl casually says that some forces tried to attack the country. Lufus then asks Igoqueros if he has any information about the location of the other heavenly stars. He says that there are rumors that in a kingdom called Liabetain, they successfully summoned a hero, which leaves the girl shocked. In another scene, we are taken to that kingdom where several mages perform a summoning ritual. They end up summoning a boy who seems to come from the real world. We are then shown a memory of the boy who was summoned. His name is Sei. He was a student who had just turned 17 and lived a very ordinary life. However, he suddenly heard voices asking for help and agreed to assist them, not knowing that he would be summoned to another world. At that moment, the boy is teleported, and the scene returns to the present where several elves reveal that they summoned him to become a hero who would save them from the demons and defeat Lufus. Sei briefly remembers telling his father that he wanted to become a police officer like him. His father replied that he should simply help others. That memory gives him motivation, and he accepts the king's proposal. However, as time passes, he realizes that his swordmaster named Friedrich is training him, but because he is not used to fighting, he begins to see himself as a failure. Suddenly, one of the elves arrives to inform Sei that the king is looking for him. The scene then moves to the king, who says that he has prepared the best possible team for Sei. Among them are Friedrich and the vice captain Cross, who masters divine arts, and a girl named Alfie, a top student from the Magic Academy of Espel. At that moment, it is also revealed that the girl's father is Gans. Finally, the king adds that Maigres has sent several steel golems to assist them in battle, along with a large squad of soldiers. After these words, the group sets out to search for the Demon King and Lufus. Just as they are leaving the castle, they are completely shocked when they see the people standing in front of them. The girl has appeared together with the Demon King named Orm, leaving the heroes group terrified. The story then moves to several hours earlier. The girls' group discusses the news that a hero named Sei has been summoned in Liabetain. Lufus comments that aside from a man known as Aliot, there had never been another player summoned in that way. Since then, Aliot had practically become the best player in the entire game. After discussing it, they conclude that the demons may already know about the hero's existence and might try to eliminate him. However, Dena says that it would not be easy for the luminaries to cross the barrier that was created in that kingdom. This barrier was formed using a skill called soul succession. The ability creates a barrier that strengthens the abilities of allies while weakening enemies. To activate this technique, Aliot had to sacrifice himself, which left him in a trance-like state from which he cannot awaken. Dena adds that the only real danger would be if the Demon King and his son appeared to attack. Because of this, the girl says that she will inspect the area, and the rest of the group stays behind while she travels to the kingdom of Liabatane. When she arrives, she observes the massive barrier, and at the same time we see that Orm is also present in the area. The story then returns to the present, where the heroes have encountered both of them. Immediately, the Demon King and Lufas begin releasing a powerful dark aura that creates a gravity effect, forcing everyone around them to fall to the ground. The Demon King says that there are only two people he truly fears. One is a goddess whose identity has not yet been revealed, and the other is the girl herself. However, he explains that he always avoided conflict with Lufas. After her defeat, though, he says that they never intended for her to disappear completely. Since Orm does not want to talk any further, he tells the girl that if she wants more information, she will have to force it out of him. The girl, clearly excited, responds that if that is the case, she will gladly accept the battle. Soon after, the two begin clashing in the air, their blows creating powerful shockwaves across the entire area. Sei is completely shocked because he never expected to face two beings like them. The battle continues, showing that both fighters are extremely powerful, as they dodge each other's attacks without difficulty. At one moment, the girl manages to land a powerful punch to Orm's stomach, launching him into the air. She immediately charges another powerful strike that hits with such force that it clears the clouds in the sky. However, Orm manages to block the attack. The Demon King then tells her that he has not felt such excitement in battle for the past 200 years. The girl realizes that even though she managed to take away a large amount of his health, Orm still has far more remaining than she does. Because of this, she knows that if the fight continues for too long, she might lose. Soon after, they land back on the ground, and the Demon King praises her strength. However, he also says that she is not truly fighting with her full power. He reminds her that when Lufas fought against the 7 heroes in the past, her power was far more overwhelming. At that moment, the boy is completely shocked because he cannot believe that the original Lufas was much stronger than him. Orm, seeing the girl's reaction, does not understand why she can still surpass her limits. He says that all of this must be part of the goddess's design because she is the one responsible for everything that happens in the world. He also explains that she has control over the demons. Demons were not only created to attack humans and spread across the world. Orm adds that if demons do not kill other beings, they eventually disappear, leaving behind mana residues across the planet. In other words, magic in this world exists thanks to demons, and all of this was part of the goddess's plan when she created the world. At that moment, the boy realizes that he had been wrong all this time, believing that mana existed simply because it was a fantasy world. After a long conversation between them, the Demon King says that he has always been in control of everything that happens. In fact, he claims that he intentionally allowed himself to be defeated so he could later defeat Lufas again. Just as Orm is about to reveal something important, Libra suddenly appears and creates a distraction before quickly taking the girl away. However, right behind the Demon King, Dena appears. Orm realizes that she knew all along that the girl had become weaker. Even so, Dena opens an X-gate, and just before leaving she tells him that the only one capable of weakening Lufas is the goddess herself. After saying this, Dena leaves the place, and the Demon King also disappears. Meanwhile, the heroes remain completely shocked because they know they could never fight against beings like them. Sometime later, the girl becomes slightly upset with Libra for removing her from the battle. Libra explains that she knew the girl was the Demon King's true target. Dena then arrives and agrees with Libra, explaining that after the girl left, the Demon King did not attack the heroes. The next day, the boy is sitting on Tanaka while thinking about the goddess of the game. He explains that she is known as Aloe Venus and is called the Merciful Goddess. He also believes that she must have some kind of plan for him and the rest of the group, because he does not know what the original Lufas tried to accomplish 200 years ago, for everything to end this way. After several days, the king of the heroes' nation apologizes, explaining that even Friedrich abandoned the group out of fear. However, he tells Sei that he has gathered another group of heroes to fight against Lufus and the Demon King. After introducing them to Sei, the boy becomes extremely excited and declares that he will take Aliot's sword and defeat all their enemies himself. When he meets the rest of the new team, he becomes confused because they all seem very unusual and eccentric. In another scene, the girls' group arrives in Bainheim. They head there to speak with Parthenos, the one who protects that place. However, the boy wonders whether she is still alive, since she was human and 200 years have already passed. After traveling for a while, they arrive at a cabin and are greeted by a very beautiful girl. Igoqueros immediately acts intimidating toward her, but Lufas quickly scolds him. The girl introduces herself as Virgo. She explains that she is the granddaughter of Parthenos, who was a white-winged being. The boy immediately examines her and realizes that she does not actually share Parthenos' blood, which makes him suspect that Parthenos may have adopted her. After she is introduced to the group, Dena senses something very strange. To hide her reaction, she jokingly tells Lufus that she should stop stealing the spotlight in the group. Soon after, Virgo leaves the house and tells them to follow her because her grandmother will surely be happy to see them. However, she instead leads them to a grave and calmly explains that Parthenos died last year after choking on a fruit. Dena becomes nervous and tells the girl that she did not know this had happened because she believed that since the protective barrier was still active, Parthenos must still be alive. This saddens Lufas slightly as she realizes that now she will only have 11 heavenly stars instead of 12. Virgo then mentions that the ghost of Parthenos might still remain in that place, because sometimes the barrier breaks, but the girl's spirit appears and restores it. Upon hearing this, the girl says that if that is the case, they should damage the barrier a little in order to force the spirit to appear. However, Igoqueros, acting foolishly, fires a powerful lightning bolt that strikes the barrier and completely destroys it. This immediately angers Lufus, who calls him an idiot goat and scolds him for what he has done. After that, the group spends several days waiting for the girl's ghost to appear, but when nothing happens, they begin to think that she truly died completely. Because of this, the girl says there is no reason to keep waiting there and plans to leave soon. However, the others mention that the grave of Lufus's mother is located in that place, and the original Lufus loved her mother very much. The boy thinks that if he visits that grave, it would mean paying respect to someone he never actually knew. Even so, out of respect for the woman, they decide to go there. Soon after, the boy transforms Tanaka into something like a moving house combined with a jet, since the grave of Lufas's mother is located at the top of a mountain. When they arrive, they see that the place is mostly ruins. The boy mentions that even though he has never been there before, he suddenly begins to feel strong emotions. He also starts remembering events from the real Lufus's life. In those memories, the girl was bullied by other winged people. After that, he begins walking through the area, and Lufas mentions that she only has bad memories of that place. Dena quietly tells him through a small X-gate that he should not allow those emotions to control him. However, right after she says this, a large explosion occurs behind them. This was caused by the heavenly stars, who became furious after hearing how people treated Lufus in the past, and wanted revenge. As expected, the boy immediately scolds them. Lufus tells them that she appreciates their desire for revenge, but she does not want them to destroy the place or her mother's grave. After walking a little further, they arrive at the mansion where her family used to live. However, the boy explains that she actually lived in a small room because Lufus's father hated her for being born with mixed wings. Hearing this makes the heavenly stars say that they would kill her father, but he has already been dead for a long time. Suddenly, the boy asks the others if they know anything about the goddess's plan, but they say they know nothing about it. At that moment, Lufas hears a voice. Right beside them appears the ghost of a girl, whom we recognize as Parthenos. She looks very happy to see the girl again after 200 years. Virgo is also shocked to finally meet her grandmother, since she had only seen her from afar before. The girl apologizes to Parthenos for making her wait for so long. Parthenos then tells her that she knows about the goddess's plan. When the girl asks about it, Parthenos first asks how many of her memories she still has. Because she can tell that Lufus does not possess all of them, Parthenos then repeats a phrase that the original Lufus once told her. She said that when Parthenos returned, she might lose her memories. The girl then asks why Lufus ordered this place to be sealed 200 years ago. Parthenos asks her to follow her alone, and they soon arrive at a massive crater. Inside it lies one of the goddess's guardians and a judge of the world, a celestial dragon of light. It is one of the 5 dragons of the world. The boy is shocked because in the video game these dragons were only legends that appeared in books. He realizes that in his current state he could never defeat one of them. He also thinks that Livia's form may have been inspired by these dragons. Lufus then reflects that if the dragons ever went mad, they could easily destroy the entire world, since they are essentially destructive gods. Lufus asks why the dragons did not appear when the demons almost destroyed the world. Parthenos explains that even though they are guardians meant to protect the world from a crisis, the goddess may not consider the demon attack to be a true crisis. She says that when something far more serious is about to happen, the sealed dragons will likely awaken from their slumber. Parthenos also explains that under Lufus's orders, the other heavenly stars sealed the rest of the dragons. However, the moon dragon still remains somewhere in the world. Finally, Lufas thanks her and says she can return to the group. However, Parthenos asks what she plans to do next. The boy says that he will visit his mother's grave, but Parthenos warns him to be careful of the goddess. She explains that the goddess possesses an ability called avatar. Since she cannot appear directly, she can create avatars that obey her commands. In other words, the goddess can create puppets she controls without anyone realizing it, and those puppets could even be people close to them. After that, the boy goes to his mother's grave and wonders why the real Lufus tried to oppose the goddess's plans, since no one should challenge the creator of the world. He also thinks that in order to stop Lufus, someone sealed her memories and placed him inside her body to hide the original Lufus and prevent her from carrying out her plan against the goddess. Even so, he cannot understand why he was chosen, since there are many other people who would have been more devoted than him. He admits that until now, he had been traveling simply because he was excited to experience a new world. But now that he knows about the goddess's plans, he decides that his new goal will be to meet her and learn the reason why he was brought into this world. He also wants to discover what the original Lufus's true objective was, so he can complete it and force the goddess to face him. From now on, he decides to follow the instincts of the real Lufus. This is because the boy now wants to take personal revenge against Aloe Venus.